Hi everyone, and welcome to this video on using Google SketchUp to create and draw a wooden box. Okay, as you see here, we're starting in the SketchUp for Schools web interface. The website, if you do need to use it, is edu.sketchup.com/app. It will ask you to sign in using Google, and then you can get to this page here. What we want to do is to create our new box. We're going to go to create new, and we're going to do simple template with millimeters, so we're always going to work in millimeters. That'll open up to this screen. So you'll probably find this interface is a little bit different to other SketchUp interfaces. We want to get rid of this person by pressing the delete button, but what you will see here is you'll see the same three axes here. We've got our green axis, our red axis, and our blue vertical axis there. So if we do want to move the screen around, we use the pan tool or the hand tool, and that can actually move the screen around, and the shortcut to get that is pressing the H button, so we can pan around. Now if we're going to be drawing a box, generally what we want to do, what my preference is anyway, is starting in a from a top down view, parallel perspective. So what we'll do is we'll click the views icon here, and we'll change our perspective to be parallel projection, and we're going to go from the top view, and what we will see is we'll see the green and the red axes. Obviously the blue axis is coming straight up towards us here. Okay, so to start our box, a few things we do need to know is, first of all, what are the dimensions of our box, what are the thickness of the material that we're using, and what is the size of the rebate that we're going, I guess what size rebate are we going to do for our joints. So first thing we do, we're going to start with a rectangle. So we click on this little rectangle icon, that opens up the sub sort of menu there, and you'll see different things. So here we're going to be choosing the rectangle, and if I draw it horizontally or vertically, it doesn't really matter. What I will do is just highlight down the bottom where the dimensions are, that as I move this, the dimensions actually change. Now what I do want to do is I'm going to release my mouse button, and I can now type in the dimensions. So my box is going to be 380 millimeters long, and you'll see down here, you can see down here that the numbers are changing, and then press the comma, and then 150 millimeters wide, and that should now make me a small, what looks like a small rectangle there. What we now want to do is to change the view so we can see the whole thing. So the zoom extents button is here, and that will actually zoom that in so we can see all of it. So that's our rectangle there. Now we want to add in the thickness of our material. So where we've got this little icon here, the push-pull, we click the arrow, we've got the offset tool. Now I can click anywhere inside this rectangle, and what the offset does is it creates a rectangle that is equidistant, or the same distance away from each of those edges, and you'll see the distance from the edges down in the bottom corner. What I want to do is I can just click it to close it, and then type in the distance that I want, which is 19, and press enter, and that will actually change that distance there. So now what I've got is I've got my outside dimensions of my box, and then I've got the inner dimensions of my box here. So we can look at those. Now what we need to do is add in our rebates, and we're going to use the line tool to do this, and the line tool just looks like the pencil there. What we're going to do is we're going to start at this top left corner, and we can see that it'll actually lock in on the edge, or it will lock in at the end point or an intersection. So if I start here and drag it up, you can see that it's going up on the green. So if it's a straight line on the axes, it'll go up and the line will change to a green line. And what I will do is I'm going to click and then type in 12 to give me the length that I need, and that's the length of my the depth of my rebate. And if I just drag my line across to the left here, you'll see it's a red line. That means it's on the red axis, so we're perpendicular, and we're just going to go to the edge. So you can see we've actually drawn our rebate there. Now if we do the same down the bottom, SketchUp's got this really cool tool where it'll actually stop at 12 millimeters, same as the other side. So if I click there and click across, it will, and if I do that on all four corners, it'll automatically align that at that 12 millimeter point. So now what we've got got that 12mm point there, and this here. So now what I do have is I have my rebates, and you can see that we've got the rebate here and we've got our end faces just there. Now what we need to do is we actually need to convert this into a 3D image. So this will, when we have a look at this, it'll be a flat image. So when we go to views, we're going to change to the perspective, and we're going to go to the isometric, and if we zoom the extents in, what we should see is we will see that we can sort of see this box in sort of an isometric sort of view. Now what we want to do is we're going to bring these up. Okay, so we're going to actually extrude these up. So if we go to where the offset tool is there, we're going to use this push-pull tool now, and if we hover over a section, you'll see that it becomes highlighted with the sort of the dots on there. And what we can do with this section is if I click it and drag it up, you'll see down in the bottom corner that it actually shows a distance. Now I can just release that and type in 120mm, because that's going to be the height of my, or the width of my timber, and that we'll be able to see that. Now if we do get caught with we can zoom the extents there. Now if we want to zoom around here, we can actually use the middle button of our mouse and we can actually drag it around, and we can see. So we're going to do the same for all four. Now SketchUp's got a really great tool. If I drag this up, and while I'm holding down the mouse, I drag my it's a bit hard to see because it's on an angle. With this one, what we might do is just do it 120 as well, and I might change the angle. So if I drag this one up and I drag it across that face, when I get that blue sort of diamond, it says it's on the face, so it will actually pull that up the same height as the face that I have designated there. So as I bring this up, this one's limited to 120 on the face there. So you'll see now that we have a completed box, and you can see all of our different parts here. You can see the front face here, our sides, and the inside. Now this box we're going to have that doesn't have the sliding lid. So the last thing we're going to do here is just going to add the dimensions. So if we go to where the little measuring tape is here, we'll have our dimension tool. Now the dimensions that we just want to show here for real simple purposes are the length of the side, the height of the box, the total width of the box, and we also want to know what the size of this end piece is, so that sort of block in the middle there. So to use the dimension tool, we click on the end point of one section, and then we click on the other end point, and we're going to drag that out along the, and you'll see see how the blue dots there, that will go down the blue axis. We want to come out the green axis here, and that will bring that out so that's horizontal. We're going to do the height as well, so you can see along the green, and we'll bring it out to the same point. And at the back here, we'll go from there to the end, and that's going to go along the red, so you can sort of see it's parallel to the top of the box, 150. And on the front here, I'm going to show from that point to that point there, which you can see our end piece is 136. So you can see now our box, our information of our box, we've got enough information there. So if we're going to create a cutting list just for now, we could add in the thickness of the box, but just for now the thickness isn't going to change. But just for now we know that our box is 380mm in length. The end pieces are going to be 136mm in length. The total box is 150mm, and the height of the box and the width of the timber that we're going to use is 120mm. Last thing we need to do is click on Save. It'll ask us to enter a model name, wooden box, and if we click OK, it will then ask us where to save it. It should ask us where to save it in our Google Drive, or if we've preset a folder, it would do that. Now it's going to ask me for the folders, so I'm going to scroll down to into my tab folder, and I've got a SketchUp folder here, right there. Click select, and that will save that as wooden box. Okay, hopefully that's helped you with your understanding of how to use Google SketchUp. A really basic video. You'll need to obviously put in your dimensions. I've just chosen those dimensions for the box, but my next video will show how to add in the slot if you're going to be doing a sliding lid. Thank you.